Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Marketing Mindset Mastery podcast with your host, Marie Mason. I cannot wait to share today's episode. So, for those who don't know who I am or just tuning in for the first time, here's a little information about me. My name, again, is Marie Mason. I am your podcast host, but I also own a podcast consultant agency called Liberty Virtual Solutions, and I am from Charlottesville, Virginia. I actually empower transformation coaches that are heart-centered and coaches, and I'm helping them with planning their podcast launch. And the reason why I plan podcasts is to help foster camera confidence and clarity on developing your podcast dreams. We basically walk you through all the steps. It's really, we really simplify the process for you. And we make it so that you're not doing it by yourself, you're doing it with somebody to help you. So we also help you with accountability. We help you with helping you walk through every process. So you can literally launch your own podcast by yourself. So that's really what the boils down to. And we have a great show lined up for you today, and you don't want to miss it. So today I'm going to be sharing some great tips, ideas, and how to make your marketing and mindset work for you, and how to set up your business for success. So stick around for some action steps that you can apply now and some great gifts for our show. We actually have prizes on today's show because we're bringing back the Marketing Mindset Who Wants to Be a Marketing Master game show. So for those who may not have seen it, it was started in almost 2 years ago, and we're bringing it back. So I bring it back periodically. So, because I want to highlight different speakers and kind of give a quick review of what each speaker has, highlights of each topic, and really just kind of give you some quick action steps, kind of like a blueprint. So today's topic, actually, if you stick around for it, it's about our marketing blueprint. It's going to really give you a good heart-centered approach to your business. Really trying to focus on getting into the understanding of your audience, target audience, and really focusing on working in a way where you can help appeal to your ideal audience and attract them organically. So without further ado, today's topic, I said before, is on the marketing blueprint. And instead of sharing top tips, today we're going to talk about the key points and action steps from each of our speakers that we've had on the show since October 2021 until July of 2022. So we're going to really just wrap up all the different speakers and highlight them, because I really feel like it's important that we address certain topics. So here's some rules and some prizes for those who want to be a marketing mindset master. We're gonna give you some rules of engagement on our game show. So for those who have not been through this, just make sure you listen up. And those who have, we might have changed some tweaks, some things, so just stick around, okay? So if not, just scroll on to the next speaker. So really quick, you can type in the answers in the chat on our YouTube channel or on our Facebook, wherever we are hosting it on our Facebook. We have a group. We also are sharing it to LinkedIn and several other places. So wherever we're at, please make sure you comment on our show and guess which ones the answers to our questions. We only have 2 questions per show, so you get roughly choice of 2 prizes. They're very valuable. Some are more valuable than others, but regardless, they would help you out big time. So type the keyword, the hashtag answer, and then share your answer. For question 1, it's going to be choice A, B, and C, or D. And the same thing for question 2. It'll be choice A, B, and C, and D. So let me know what answer you have in the chat below, okay, the video. So wherever you're seeing the video, it could be YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, or some other channel you're watching it on, and just type in your answers. And we'll do our best to go back and let you know who wins. Really quick, our process, instead of, we're basically bringing back a very popular game that we created that my second co-host, Cheryl Bernstein, and I created a while, probably in halfway through working together. We started creating a Who Wants to Be a Marketing Master game show because we really want to create that fun environment. And this is for our audience. So we also wanted to highlight all the speakers that have come on that you might have missed, or at least highlight a few of them. So today's prizes. We have one lucky winner today will get a free access to my social media tracker, which is really awesome because it helps you organize your social media content that you share, like your posts, and it helps you be able to, you have to manually put in the information, but it's really good because it helps you to be able to see everything on a spreadsheet, and it makes it more easier for you to follow. And then another lucky winner will get a free access to my social media marketing planner. So it's an all-around the spreadsheet for the marketing social media trackers on this Excel spreadsheet, and the marketing planners on a Google Doc. So it's just really, really easy. So just make a copy and just work on them. So for all of our podcast listeners, we are always offering you a free podcast, 30-minute podcast assessment to see where you're at with your podcast planning stages. And to book a call, go onto our calendar and click on calendly.com/Marie V. Mason, and you'll be able to pretty much get started with finding out a little more about you and how we can work with you on planning your next podcast. And if you're stuck on something, let us know. Maybe we can help you just fix a little tweak. Maybe all you need to do is, get a quick perspective on something. And I'm okay with that for one free call. And then we can find out how we can work from each other from there. Sounds fair? Cool beans. Okay. I am going to bring up our first guest, which is Gabrielle Cardona, and she spoke on defining your success back in November 21. And the key summary points was really bullet points, relationships, goal settings, and accomplishments. And her action step was to give her audience change the way you interpret people as a potential treasure chest and recognizing and appreciate their strengths. And I think that's really important because people are so quick to sit there and point out your faults, right? Have you noticed that? I like the way Gabrielle says it. Learn to recognize and appreciate their strengths because, oh my gosh, I think Mark Twain said it best. I can live a whole 3 weeks or a month on a compliment because it's so rare that we get compliments. It doesn't mean you should give compliments all the time. You should give people constructive criticism and let them know, okay, this is what's going on, and this is what needs to be fixed. But it would be nice if you all could make sure you show how you appreciate what people are doing for you, because people do take their time to do it. And I just wanted to make sure that we make it a point to recognize that. Okay, so I kind of did a little more in that with one in a little different way, because I didn't give you too much information on that one. But if you go check out that podcast episode in November 21, it's Defining Your Success by Gabrielle Cardona. Lovely lady. Everyone who has come to my podcast has been awesome to work with, by the way. So you cannot go wrong on my podcast guests. Landing Stevens, another great podcast guest. She's been on a couple of times, and her other newer topic was in December 21. It says, "Don't panic, let's pivot." Don't panic, let's pivot. So, really quick summary of her key points are: 1, a particular mindset can make or break you. So if you have a really stinky attitude, people are going to pick up on that and they're not going to want to work with you. I'll give you a perfect example. I know a plumber who also is good at other skill sets too. And he recently was referred to by me to one of my neighbors, and won't get into all the details of the names. And I asked her, "Oh, how did it go?" Because I just wanted to follow up with her. So I checked back with her a week later, and because I saw her getting an AC unit put in, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I went with somebody else." It says, "Well, okay, that's cool." And it just says, she was giving me a heads up that so and so was going to be installing it. It was a different person. So I just, "Oh, so what happened with so and so?" And the neighbor said to me, "Well, it was the attitude in which that plumber, EC person, um, and the way that he treated her was what broke which just it was the reason why she didn't go with him. So it broke him. I mean, it really, even though he's totally unaware of it, but it's all about your attitude. So if your mindset is a know-it-all and you come across that way and you treat people like that, it's going to throw them away. You throw them like want to run away from you. I'm sorry. That's just the politest way I can put it. They're not going to want to work with you, basically. So you have to kind of check yourself in the mirror about your attitude. You have to make sure that knowing that your identity gives you confidence is another one. And then knowing that your product's identity helps you position it for high impact. So make sure that you position the wording so it gives a higher impact. And the higher impact is, make sure you address the pain points of your clients. Address your clients' pain points, basically. Does that make sense to y'all? I mean, so address your clients' pain points and not just tell them the features of what you have. And then also create an emotional response to what you're writing. So make sure you elicit emotion in what you're saying, but in a positive emotion. Elicit a positive emotion in your written copy, no matter what it is. It could be in your social media posts, it could be in your website, it could be on your emails. I mean, whatever it is that you are showing up visibly, make sure you listen to them, appeal to their, emotions. Because what is it? Story sell, right? Not just creating a story either. It's more of really kind of helping them see that you understand where they're coming from, their viewpoint. Okay, that's really what it boils down to. Number 3, you can also be successful even if the world around you is falling apart. It's all about knowing who you are and what you are offering and knowing how to position it to speak a need that is evident. Just like we said, I just reworded it a little bit. So the summary of the key points really are, and then some of the other topics we talked about were, 1, you identify what pocket of thought pattern you are and how you can change or grow. Also, knowing where you are first enables you to begin to change the journey. So kind of look within, basically, is what she's saying. Look within, figure out what it is you need to change, and start making that journey of change. She gave a great example about Marvel and how it became a big name in Hollywood. It then was on a brink of collapse, and then they changed it around. She gave a great analogy with that. So please check that story out. And if you can, make sure that there are like 4 key areas of focus to make your pivoting. And she tells you all of that on there. So please go check out. Her topic was don't panic, let's pivot. And her action step to give to our audience is think about what you're thinking about, because it really impacts your mindset. I mean, knowing who you are will give you the confidence, and then to understand your product, what it offers, will help you be a success. So I always say, whatever's going on in the inside of you is going to show up on the outside. So if you're being insecure, people are going to pick up on that, on those cues, whether they're visible verbally or visible in just how you present yourself. Your body language is key in that case. So if you don't appear confident, people are going to smell that and see that, and they're not going to want to work with you. They want someone who knows what they're doing, and they want to feel confident that you could get the job done. And if you're not confident, it will show up. So your attitude, your act will also lead to your actions, and your actions will make it or break it with the client. I had to hone in on that because I have seen it happen with myself in the past, and I've changed stuff around in that respect. And I also seen it in my students, and I also seen it sometimes in my clients in the way they present themselves on camera. Make sure you really think about how you say things and what comes not only out of your mouth, what comes through on your attitude. How you say something matters. How you present yourself in your body language matters. You only get one chance to make a first impression. Make it your best one. Okay? That's my tip as well. So wanted to tell you that. Next one. Trying to wrap it up a little bit. I've got quite a few, so hopefully I won't take as long as I am doing right now, but I really want to hone in some key points. Speaker number 3, Christy Robinson came back to talk about understanding your target market. Oh my gosh, get into the mindset. I talked about presenting it to you. Now I got to get into the mindset. You need to, 1, understand the real questions that they're asking. You need to be able to know how to show up the table and dig deeper. Don't just ask them the yes and no questions. Dig deeper, find out, pull them out. You know how like we always go deeper dive in some of the questions on the show. It's because I want to know more, and you want to know more. You want to know how you can really help them. If there's really something that you have that they need, if they're not the right fit, maybe they know somebody who does, but you need to get to know what that is. And people are not asking the right questions. So dig deeper is what I'm saying. If you know what they're asking, then you know what you need, what they need, because this way you can actually give them one of your services that you think might fit them, and you don't have to oversell so many services. Pick one and say, start with that. You can share the website, they can look up the rest, or you could go through it. But if you're going through a whole bunch of information, you're going to lose them. I'm going to let you know that up front. Okay, just find out if you really know what the main core is, what they need, find it, and then fill that need. Simple as that. So the third one is the power in the customer profile. Client profiles understand that there is more of a personal level of who they are, and they show up on that. When Facebook's really good for like when you're setting up your profile, that especially your personal profile, it tells about who that person is. You see scroll through their pictures and their comments and their posts, and you get kind of like a vibe of who they are, right? The vibe, VIB. And it's really more of figuring out, you want to do some research and learn to really learn about a person before you work with them. So before you even get on the call, do a little research, put some little notes in a document in somewhere on your computer, and just, when you're going up and schedule that person, then you have your notes, you're ready to go, and you can sit there and, ask some questions. Say, oh, I noticed that you have this or this thing, and says, tell me about that. And you can make some icebreakers out of that too. So, but learn to research your clients properly, because that's going to help you get into understanding their mindset, but it's also going to understand a little bit about their personal life. It's going to tell about their brand for their business, and you're going to learn how to sell and package your offer better. when you understand who your target market is. I'm just summing up. I might have thrown in a little bit of my own piece to it in there, but most of it is the key points, which are usually, the start of it. So hopefully that sums it up. And this is what the action steps she wants you to take away with this is the purpose is not to sell. Okay, so I misspoke there so earlier, but to understand who they are. I repeat, do not sell on this call. You're really there to find out and dig deep and find out more and learn more about them. Be real with them, okay? Be a real person. Find a common ground. Might be a hobby, you never know. You might learn a new hobby. I've learned so many over the last few years. Oh my gosh, last 25 years, maybe even 30 years. But yeah, long story short, keeps getting interesting. Next speaker, number 4, Sophia Zalman, talked about social media marketing best practices back in March of this year in 2022. Oh my gosh, that was a interesting one because social media, I don't know if you noticed, but social media changes every 6 months. In fact, I think it's sped up and started changing every 3 months. Anyone else noticed? Let me know. Type, I've noticed it changing in the chat. Say I noticed it changing in the, I noticed it's been changing in the chat, so let me know. Anyway, long story short, her key points are 1, marketing what to post, formatting it, and being more frequent in your social media posts. It's not enough just to do 1 post a day. You're playing too small. You're playing in the minimums. That's enough to barely get you noticed. It might be more noticeable to your closer friends, but to your target market, it's not going to even cut it. If you're only posting once a week or once a month, you really need to beef it up. Once a day is, like I said, barely scraping the barrel. You need to be posting 2, 3, 4 times a day. She might have a better answer for you, but I've been noticing when I share posts, several posts a day, it starts to generate engagement. So if you're not seeing engagement, that means 1, they're not liking your content, and 2, that you're not posting enough for them to see you in your thread. You need. Facebook algorithms are very interesting, especially. I cannot say the same for every single social media platform, but it might be similar. So with Facebook, you really need to do 3 or 4 or 5 times a day. And it doesn't have to be the same thing. But you need to have something up there for you to be recognized and picked up in the Facebook algorithms for your audience target market to pick up and see. And try to use hashtags if you can, because that will be easier. But because I found that when I don't use hashtags, sometimes it doesn't always pick up, but sometimes it do. So to do some playing around with that, because you might want to see what does work and what doesn't work for you, because sometimes you have an audience that's a little more interactive, and if so, then you might not need the hashtags as much. Maybe you just need a couple, but the rules of engagement and the rules in what you do on social media changes constantly. So do check out what Sophia says about that as well, because she's really some great tips. Also, figure out what is the best for you in terms of your social media platforms. Which ones do you want to, which ones you want to use to find and attract your target market. It can be different for each one. Mine are mostly on LinkedIn and Facebook, but others might have TikTok and other things. It depends. The younger crowd really is hanging out on TikTok. I personally have set one up and haven't done anything with it because I'm more on LinkedIn and Facebook. I only have time to devote to a couple of platforms. I have other platforms up. I just don't do anything with them. So they're not really my target market. So I don't worry about the ones that I don't not focus on. Does that make sense? So focus on the ones that you feel the most comfortable and also where your target market is. Client avatar is the third one. and target marketing, new rules on Facebook ads. Oh my gosh, share live or pre-recorded videos there's some really, really good tips and new rules about that for Facebook ads. So go check out the social media best marketing best practices on that tip for that tip. Also, number 4 was a new approach is working for you as an example, like for example, personal outreach to build relationships, like connecting, collaborating, referring, and selling on instead of just selling on social media. Basically, the last thing is she found out that an outreach message is not necessarily having to be like a sales pitch. It needs to be more of a conversation. So make it conversational, make it sound genuine and not just like you're trying to get them booked on your calendar. I'm actually scaling back on the number of calls I put on my calendar because I'm not trying to put 100 million calls on my calendar. I'm trying to only find the ones who are serious and ready to get started because I don't want to waste a lot of time with people who are not the right fit. So I'm really being watchful of that. And that's something she talks about on how to not sound like a sales pitch all the time, but have real conversations, be a real person. And her action step for you today is the main action step to apply now is to start positioning every day for your on your favorite platform and start engaging with your people and launch a 2-day, a 3-day, or a 5-day, or even a 30-day challenge. I mean, whatever. Start with a 1 or 2-day challenge, probably a 2-day challenge minimum, and start. And it really, I did that with my first podcast host, who's actually now my business partner, and we did that in 2019. And the whole purpose was to increase engagement in our group, and also to add more new eyeballs and to attract new people to it. And it really does. I mean, launch challenges are really effective. But again, you want other content in there too, and not just a challenge. I find that most people fizzle out after day 5 on a challenge. So if you're going to be doing a 30-day challenge, I would probably shorten it and I wouldn't go past 15 days, to be quite honest. Also, again, I have another speaker. So that's just my tip. So from what I've experienced, so Sophie did a great job on her topic of social media marketing best practices. She's got tons of great ideas. Go check it out. Okay, next one. We got Christy Robinson, number 5, and she's talked about creating marketing systems and workflows. Oh my goodness. If you don't have a workflow in place, you are probably losing some of your clients. You want to be able to retain clients and keep your processes and systems flowing smoothly. Okay, that's just my 2 cents there. So hers was in December 21, and her key points are solo entrepreneurs need to know how to grow and scale more comfortably. The 2, they need to document the idea stage and what they need like to happen and stop overcomplicating them and things in their head. Then number 3, they need to post Instagram content, reels, podcasts content, and blogs. Pick something that you feel like your audience needs. I think everybody should have at least one form of written content and one form of video content. And you don't have to necessarily be the one in front of the camera. You can create, go into Canva and create little video clips with just using music and words or your voice. And you can just do, or have someone do voiceovers for you. You don't necessarily have to be the one on the video. But I will be honest, the ones that are use the face-to-face approach, they're going to connect with you. Okay, so make sure at least your voice is on the video, even if you just use visuals like on a Canva. So whatever it is, make sure you can do promo videos, you can do value videos. I mean, there's so much you can do with video. I do a lot with podcasts. I'm actually going to be doing short-term form videos starting in September because I need something that's a lot shorter like 20 minutes or less so that I can spend more time doing other tasks and working with clients. So I'm going to get pretty busy in September, and I'm really going to not have time for a full-blown podcast. So I'm going to still offer occasional guests to come on my show, and I'm still going to kind of keep it going. But again, it's really going to be much shorter information because we've done a lot of long ones form videos, and they're not getting the kind of engagement I really like. So that's something to think about, is you want to be able to keep your audience's attention in your videos and in your written content as well. Then number 4 is the top software suggestions. She mentioned Trello, Zapier, and integrations and plugin apps. So please go check out that. And her action steps for our audience was that they can apply what so that they can apply in their business. What Ray was to get success was to start small, play around with the lowest hanging fruit, and don't aim for perfection. Oh my gosh, I've seen it where perfection stops people and attracts from taking action. Don't focus on being perfect. Get it done. You can always go back and fix it, polish it later, or get someone else to polish it for you and outsource that one. But get that content out there. Don't overthink it, because when you overthink it, you freeze and then it doesn't get done. Just get it done. Okay? Whatever, you just make a decision, make a clear action plan, and then get it done. Don't. And actually, if you put a deadline, I find it really motivates people to get it done. And the deadline can always be fixed if you have to push it back, but don't push back too much or it'll never get done, because that's part of what we perfectionists tend to do. And I'm a part-time perfectionist, by the way. I'll make that claim. Just saying. But at the same time, check hers out. Great topic. I really always enjoyed Chrissy Robinson when she comes to our shows, and she makes it seem so simple and easy. So creating marketing systems and workflows, go check it out. Number 6, Danny the Decker did a great topic on the automatic marketing machine. How many of you want to save time in your business? Please type yes in the chat. And whether you're YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn or wherever you're seeing it. So make sure you have the target audience, develop a customer journey, define the marketing strategy, share effective messaging that speaks to their pain point. How many times have I said that already in the show? Speak to their pain point. Use emotions, okay? Get into their head, okay? 2, marketing tactics. Create a lead offer. Use the software to track results. Oh my gosh, it's so better to send it out to your email list instead of doing it manually. So I've tried manually at the beginning, and I'm so glad I went to software. Anyway, find one that works for you. Find a software that resonates with you, fits your budget, and you like the results, you know. And you might have to test out a few. So keep that in mind. And then number 3, marketing funnels. A sales funnel helps you to understand what potential customers are thinking and doing at each stage of the purchasing journey. And by sharing valuable content during each stage, you will turn more prospects into paying customers because they appreciate you. Don't forget to show them appreciation. And then the sales process is the 4th point, and it really is about directing response marketing, which is when you use a differentiator in your positioning in your message, and by sharing what it is that makes you unique. Oh my gosh, that is a game changer for so many people. Make sure you tell us what your unique selling proposition is. Why do you stand out? What makes you different above the rest? Everybody has a unique perspective. Everybody has something different. And that's what it is. Oh, I'll share something funny with you afterwards. And then the action step that you can apply now, figure out what your target market is struggling with, frustrated, and aspiring to. Ask deep questions and create free downloads that have questions. And then also ask yourself what keeps your target market up at night, and get inside their head and speak to them. What I've been trying to say all along. He summed it up so beautifully there. but what I was going to say about the story, what triggered it, a memory of what makes you unique. I mentioned that in the sales process. So what makes for a really kind of cute story. Oh, I'm hoping I can remember this one. I just had it in my head. You remember moments in your head where you had a thought and it just escapes? And I think I have a moment. So if I remember, it'll come to me. Yeah. So what makes you unique? I got it. I had somebody on my business team for my agency, Liberty Virtual Solutions. It was CM Virtual Assistant Agency at the time. And I had a virtual assistant manager tell me one time, Marie, you never do anything normal. Well, then I turned to him and said, thank you, because normal never gets you noticed. So that's my takeaway for today. When you want to be noticed, right? You don't want to beat yourself on the chest all the time because everybody else is. You want to be noticed for who you are naturally. Be yourself. And the right people will work with you. I've been telling that to people for probably close to 30 years now. And I used to work with a different group of people in a different business model. And oh my gosh, you will be surprised. Also, share a framework reference with your offer in a context and connect the dots to the reference. And a formula that he recommended was, do you have this problem? And then establish empathy. Create an empathetic message. Oh my gosh, it will draw them to you like I don't know, flies to honey. You can always catch more you can always catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar, is the old saying. Okay, so first question of I'm so sorry this is taking me so long to get through today, but we're going to try to speed up because there's only a few more left. So question number 1 for the who wants to be a marketing master? Okay, drum roll, please. Wish I had one of those drum roll sound bites in that section. So what were the 3 tips for understanding your target market that Christy Robinson shared? And in the understanding your target market, right? So choices are number 1, or I should say A, is understand the real question they're asking you. They need to know how you show up to the table. B, what they are asking for and know what they need. C, there is power in the customer profile, and the client profiles understand them in a more personal level of who they are as a person. And people are caught up in the market research instead of a person. Learn to sell and package your offer. And D, all of the above. Which is it? Type in the chat and let me know if it's A, B, or C for question 1. Okay, so number 6, Marco Torres. Leading by giving value is so important. Always add value to the people you talk to. He talked in March of this year in 2022, and here I'm going to keep his key points really brief because his action steps are like really impactful. So key points: 1, create a brand loyalty using rewards and incentives. 2, create customer service. Great customer service is to do a survey to get feedback on your service. A lot of people are really asking for feedback these days because that helps you get searched on Google. And so number 3, help lower the negative emotions and fix their problems and reward them for taking the survey by providing positive feedback for your business. And also giving them rewards to maybe something that, simple little reward that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. Okay. Could be one of your extra freebies, And the action step I really wanted to focus on today was find a way to automate as much as possible. Like, for example, the internet, there's so many tools like CRMs and automation boosters, and automation boosters, which is an upsell from product as part of our program. So he has what's called an automation booster. So that's one of his software tools. And then we also need a central hub to organize all your content. So we're not losing our magic bullets, right? Because, we can get lost with a lot of sources of information. And then if you have a real service, then we can help you grow faster. Stop discounting, and then you'll need to double your sales to reach your financial goal. And then the next thing he said was offer 3 months of coaching instead of nothing. You can always add more value instead of taking away from your services, like subtracting things, add more value. So it's called an upsell. And for example, you get this free bonus if you start today. And this free bonus is, I'm giving you 3 extra months of coaching. So sweetening the deal, making it irresistible is the key. And combine your offers with your partnerships. So bundle them. Bundling services is such a key term these days. So bundle your services together, and you will really make a bigger impact in that way with your partnerships. So if you build your network and build your net worth, you are going to make a lot more impact. Okay. So number 7, we're almost done. I think we only got one more person after this. So we are really close to the end. So thanks for sticking around. We are going to run a little longer today, and that's because of the game show aspect of it and summarizing. So figure number 7 is DJ Sobanjo. Oh my gosh, he was so cool. He talked about 4 simple, I can slow down, 4 simple secrets. It's a tongue twister. So say that again. 4 simple secrets for a better buying conversions. How many of you, and tell me in the chat, have the hardest time to converting your when you're going on the discovery calls and you're talking to the person, how many of you are struggling to get them to buy your offer? DJ has some amazing tips. Here's the 4 core elements of better buying conversions. 1, do a deep dive on how to close a sale question, because so here's the tip. So basically you want to do is a deep dive discussion and get to know the pain point on the sales on the first call, right? So make sure you do that. That's been the theme for the last several other speakers. 2, know your audience. Make sure it's your mission to know your audience more than they know themselves, and be as much of an expert on your audience as you are an expert on your topic. You see, a lot of people want to shine them on them, put the spotlight on themselves, but really it's about putting your spotlight on your audience, on the target market, on your potential customer. Does that make sense? Or potential client, depending on what field you're in. And number 3, stop selling to them. People can sell. People don't like to be sold to. If they like it, they'll buy it. But if you're selling, it automatically conditions your prospects to want to protect themselves, and they will buy from you. They will run away from you. They'll give every excuse in the book to never talk to you again. But instead, help them buy from you by being a little more of a people person. I don't know how else to say it. really get into their head. And you don't have to be a super extrovert like me. You could be, I know tons of introverts who are really good at listening and really getting into their clients' heads. And that's brilliant. Be that kind of person. Be the person that gets inside their heads, that builds, and number 4, builds that belief. When people believe, they will buy. When they believe that they can do it and you can help them get that result. And when they stop doubting and stop hesitating, they'll buy from you in a heartbeat, hands down. DJ will show you some tips on the 4 simple secrets for better buying conversions. Go check that one out. That was in 2022 also in July. This released, actually it's going to be released. I'm in July recording this, so it is released on July 21st. Super excited for you to hear that one. Ari Galper also talked about how to double your sales with trust-based selling. Oh my goodness, this is like the heart-centered kind of approach I have been trying to teach my students and share with my clients. Here are the key points. What are the 4 common sales myths? We're going to talk about that and a couple other quick tips, and then we're going to share his action steps. Myth 1, sales is a numbers game. How many of you have said that or heard it? I have. It's all about really how deep did you go and build that trust, build that bridge. I am extremely good at talking to people up front and creating that dialogue and making sure that you feel like you're like a guest in my house, like the VIP guest in my house. Because basically I am inviting you to my house. You see my living room. This is not fake background. Eventually you're going to see my office because I'm working on setting up my office. I've been saying that for 3 years. I've been cleaning clutter out like crazy in 2022. So this year is the year of purging stuff. Anyone else can relate? Let me know in the chat. I'm purging clutter too. So let me know that. But long story short, it's all about building trust, being relatable, having a conversation, finding out common ground. Start with something that you're both interested in. People don't know that. Or I can give you some great tips. I might even do a great tip on that too sometime. But later on, because I have that secret sauce called form. I'll tell you about that later. Salesman number 2. Sales is a loss at the end of the process, is what people are meant to believe. And there's a tip that in this section that you should know. Rejection is triggered through what you say and what you do. Have we not said that before in this section? There's several triggers, words to avoid using, and it's all about the delivery and how you say your message and in answering the questions. Remember that example about the plumber and the AC person? Yeah, that could give you an idea. Watch your tone of voice. When you lower your tone of voice, it's more centered, and then you're more likely going to succeed at selling rather than being too eager. And when you're too eager and you're really desperate and you're saying, I need this job, people are going to run away from you because they are thinking you're the icky people, creepy people that are going to, I call them vultures. The ones that want to have a hand out, not a hand up, and they only want you to give them money, and then they go away for a while and disappear on you, and then they come back begging you for some sob story with the money, for more money. That's icky. That's creepy. That's stalker kind of mode. Don't stalk people for money. Don't beg them for money. You need them, but guess what? They need you too. It's a two-way street. If it's not a two-way street, it is not going to work. Just my 2 cents there. But Ari made some really good tips on that. And I really want you to pay attention to myth number 3 because it really starts at the hello. It starts from the very first word that opens up your mouth, and your attitude, your emotions, your tone of voice, and how you present yourself with your body language is crucial. Remember what I said earlier? Your first impression, you only have but 8 seconds these days to make a good first impression. And once you have that first impression, you don't get a second chance with some people. So keep that in mind. Watch your tone of voice, lower it, be more calm. Don't be super easy to please, but don't be a hard head too. Create a balance. That's what I'm saying. Number 4, myth 4, the delivery of your words won't be authentic if you use a script. Your enthusiasm determines the reverse, and so you need to stay calm and relaxed and focus on them. Some of my best words have been not from a script. I'm using the script right now. But I've done this so much now that I hopefully come across as naturally. And I do with key points. The rest of it is my stuff that I'm coming out of my mouth. Because I will read it and it will trigger, it's like a memory jogger for the key points, and then I just pull it out. Does that make sense? So you're getting me authentically. But I also have to stay focused. So having like an outline helps. It doesn't have to be, it's just bullet points. So it doesn't have to be like totally word for word. So there you go. So it doesn't mean you can't use a script, but don't make it sound like you're using a script. Does that make sense? Make it sound natural. Like, don't make it sound like you're going down a checklist, because that's going to be kind of an icky feeling too. I've lost people that way as well. Next one is a tip from all this. What's your story behind trust-based selling? I really want you to hear this because this is important. You want to build trust with your potential clients because it's you they're investing in. Your knowledge, but also you. Okay, your experience, your fun, your ability to get things done. Okay, not trying to rhyme there. But anyway, it started when he had a client experience that got excited to move forward. And then he had to have kept dragging along the process and did it opposite of what they told me to do. And that was to get to the truth. And then the point of his concept shifted away from the sale and focused more on their needs. So what his magical point where it shifted was when he stopped focusing on selling him and telling him about all these great features he's going to get. Focus more on asking them those deep questions and finding out what they really need. Simple. We've been talking about that the whole time. What are the core principles behind the approach? Was the last one he talked about is diffusing the sales pressure, being a solution focused, and connect with that client enough so that they feel like they can you understand them. Because when you understand them and you understand their needs and you create that bridge in the relationship, you have a friendship for life. And you could probably even have a client for life. Build those friendships. That leads to really long-term clients. That's what we're saying. Action step. So the key takeaway for this to apply now is to shift your thinking and stop selling and build trust. We make it way too hard with the old methods. Keep it simple. Keep it conversational. Find out what the person needs. Be more focused on them. Dale Carnegie's books talk about that. And he was an introvert of all things. Stop selling. Create that trust. Find out what they need. And then be solution focused. It'll be a lot easier and less pressure for both of you. Last speaker, Ben Bressington. Thanks for staying to the end. Close more sales by talking to the birds. Wish we could have tweaked that topic. It's about personalities. Okay, so closing the sales by talking to the birds is all about personalities. Summary 1, we're going to keep this short and sweet. 1, understand personality indicators that close more sales. 2, personalize your sales faster by improving your conversions. Sorry, something just wasn't right. Okay, ever had those gremlin issues on your computer and stuff? That's what was going on. Sorry. Number 4, conversions create relationships. Relationships create the sales. And not sure about that. What did we just learn from Ari? Come on, computer, behave. So Ari actually really wants to create relationships. And I really feel like relationships and stories sell more than anything else. So you do need to personalize your sales conversations because you do want to develop that relationship. I think that's really what it. So let's re-say that one because I think it's just the way I originally said it was wrong. So let's recap. 1, for Ben Bresson, close more sales by talking to the birds regarding your personality indicators. 1, understand the personality indicators that will close more sales. 2, personalize your sale conversions, improves personalizing your sales, improves your conversions. And I'm going to say, sorry about this. 3, using new metrics, your key performance indicators to improve your sale conversions. And then 4, conversions create relationships. Relationships create sales. Okay, I think it's opposite. But anyway, won't believe, little believe. Check out Ben Bresson's thing and just you tell me in case I got it wrong. Number 5, you can predict when a customer will purchase just by looking at these 3 body language signs to look for any sales conversions. And we just say that in some of the other ones. So there you go. I'm telling you, when you know what the signs are in the body language and their words can sometimes be tricky, but watch their body sign language. Watch how they're looking at you and how they're reacting to what you're saying. And that's going to give you clues on what they're ready to buy. And then you can sit there and know when to shift the conversation to that point. Action step. Oh my gosh, takeaways for today. Use the 4 different personality types to improve your conversions and your conversations. And it only takes 15 seconds to make the points you want to make to get to an audience. Because let me tell you, I thought it was 8 seconds. But some people, it's anywhere from 8 to 15 seconds. When I started doing business on another business model, that was probably close to 30 years ago. We had 30 seconds to make a first impression. Now it's between 8 and 15 seconds. Oh my gosh, 30 years later, who would, almost half my lifetime. I'm only 54 and I'm recording this podcast. So last question for today's episode. What were the key points that Mark Torres shared on our show that the topic was called lead by giving value. So let's start with okay. So really quick. Question number 1. Answer number 1. A, create brand loyalty by using rewards as incentives. B, customer service to do a survey to get feedback for your service. 3, to lower negative emotions and fix the problems and reward them for taking the survey. And by giving them positive feedback for their success. Or D, all of the above. Which one of those was that. So um, that's pretty much it for the show. The only thing I'm going to say is my future goals is we're going to be doing more short-term form videos and doing some value videos. I'll do some guest features here and there and sprinkle them in, but I'm literally rebranding, and Mark and I are, as my business partner, we're going to be doing a podcast together, which will be launching sometime after around October or later. We haven't decided yet. We're working on a summit right now, so please stay tuned for the summit information as well. And I just spoke at a summit this past week, and it was so much fun. So hopefully turn around for that. So call to action questions. Do you have something you can share with our audience today? Yes, I do. Check out our social media tracker. It will help you with tracking all your social media posts and find out which ones are being most effective and getting more attention to your social media posts. And then also today's topic was on marketing blueprint. And I want to say thank you for allowing me to be in your life for a short while. I hope you found some valuable tips to help our audience grow their business, the Marketing Mindset Podcast. And I want to encourage you to take advantage of our offers. They are going to be on YouTube and also on Facebook, LinkedIn, and libertyvirtualsolutions.com website soon. Just waiting to finish recording all the rest of my podcasts for August, and then which I hope to get pre-recorded, all of them done by the end of July, so we can start getting everything loaded up on the website for you. Make sure that you do take advantage of our 30-minute podcast assessment at calendly.com/Marie V. Mason. And don't forget to grab your free social media tracker worth at least $47 or more. So please check it out and join us again next week for great tips, ideas on how to make your marketing mindset work for you and how to set up your business for success. We stream on our YouTube channel on every Thursday at 11 o'clock Eastern. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification button. And don't forget to make comments, because we'd love to hear from you. Until next time, I'm your host, Marie Mason, saying goodbye from now on the Marketing Mindset Mastery Podcast. And then this ends this week's show. And guess what? You have a great week. And don't forget, please make sure you stick around for more great shows. We're not going away completely, just so you know. Have a good one, and enjoy your